the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 1. And it says, The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. I want to start off giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that teach and rule well today, and salutation also to the fellow laborers and the believers scattered worldwide that's in the faith and exalt the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom. I'm the brother Shaquat Gabar from the Great Millstone, South Carolina branch, coming at you with another quick lesson. And as always, this message goes out to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, which we are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible. And also to the Israelite foreigners that scattered amongst the heathen nations. But if your bloodline goes back to Negro, Latino, or Native American descent, by the seed of your father, you consider an Israelite as well, according to the bloodline and of the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So shalom to you brothers and sisters as well that's scattered worldwide, and that's uplifting the name of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom. So basically, I'm just going to get into a quick lesson, okay, and also into a quick article that's touching home here in South Carolina, okay, because which we are the South Carolina branch of Great Millstone, okay, here in the Midlands. And basically the article is going to get into about division, okay? And that's what you have here lately now amongst the governor here in South Carolina against these, mandates behind these Vanessa, okay? And all throughout America, you got different governments that's not willing to submit to the Biden administration when it comes to these executive orders and mandates behind the Beetlejuice, okay? And it's causing a lot of division and friction between the American government, man. And that show you that these are the times that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is bringing the destruction to America, Babylon the Great. That you got the biblical Edomites that's ruling today and that's ruling over America, that they got frictions between each other when it comes to certain agendas, okay, that America want to push, being spearheaded by these elites. And you got, the lesser luminary ones that's down with it. And you got individuals that's partaking into, this government, these different politics, mayors, senators, governors, okay? And you got some of them that's resisting behind this whole agenda, the pushing of these mandates. So that's why I start off with Isaiah chapter 19, and the point was in verse 2, and I'll read it again before I get the article. And it says, Isaiah chapter 19, verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, okay? In America, okay, is also known as Egypt, also in the Bible, because you're not going to see the word America in the Holy Bible, okay? It's codified or symbolic under different ancient empire kingdoms, okay? One known as Babylon the Great, okay, and Egypt, okay? So when it says that I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, it's talking about the modern day Egyptians, which are the Americans, okay? Because America is our captivity, just as ancient Egypt were under the ancient Egyptians, which were Hamites or Africans, okay? And the modern day Pharaoh and the Egyptians, okay, is going into the Edomites that's ruling here in America. Okay, so this is our captivity or the modern day spiritual Egypt for us. Okay, America. And it says, And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay, and that's going to Esau against Esau. The different frictions between each other that they have against each other here in this government. Okay, and it says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. So you're seeing that a lot of these mandates that's coming out, who's resisting and taking stand the most? These Edomites, the American citizens, Edomites. Okay, they the one that's out there protesting, doing these rallies. Okay, and causing chaos behind this whole crisis. Okay, and you're seeing the American citizens, and not only certain American Edomite citizens, but also different governors. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and get into the article, but that's um, the power and the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai that causing these frictions. Another indicator that America and the biblical Edomites is at the point of their downfall. Now, this article is off of News19.com or WLTX.com, which is News 19 of the local South Carolina um, news station out of Columbia. Okay, which Columbia is the capital of South Carolina. And it says this article was published October the 20th, 2021, and it reads, Feds may take away South Carolina's authority over workplace safety regulations. McMaster plans to fight, and McMaster is the governor of South Carolina. Once again, the headquarters out of Columbia, South Carolina. Okay, so it's to the point that you got McMaster resisting against the Biden administration about these mandates. Okay, but it's to the point now that you got the federal government, okay, that willing to take over the state, okay, the state government, to move them out the way, no matter what resistance the state is coming with, okay, even if the state arguing that these mandates are illegal, okay. Okay, at the end of it, through this agenda, starting with the federal government, the higher up of this government, and they doing the bidding of these elites, okay, and those that resistance, hey, they're going to be taken out of the way. And we know eventually, as a whole, if we're going to come to America, we're going to be fully pushing the mandates all throughout the different states, no matter what resist they have of the local state government. Okay? And it says South Carolina and two other Republican controlled states forced government takeover of workplace safety regulations. Columbia, South Carolina, the Biden administration is threatened to revoke the authority for three Republican controlled states to handle their own workplace safety regulations because they have refused to adopt rules to protect healthcare workers from the 1-9. Okay, so you got a lot of resistance. Okay, South Carolina and three other Republican states. Okay, and you know that the Biden administration, okay, through a Biden administration, we know that is supposedly, where is the Democrats. Okay, but you got a lot of Democrats resisting as well against the Biden administration. Okay, right along with the Republicans, which they both tied into the same agenda. Okay, and eventually Democrats and the Republicans all gonna have to go get on board, no matter what type of difference they have, because you got these elites through America ready to push their NWO, their New World Order, or their One World Government. And those that resistance, hey, they're just gonna be taken out of the way, or they're gonna be overpowered, okay, by the upper elites, okay, and that's how it's gonna go. But through that, a lot of people gonna resist, man, and they're gonna cause what? Chaos, okay, uproars, civil unrest, as we coming into that point now. Let me continue on. And it says the threats were sent to Arizona, South Carolina, and Utah. So it's going into those 3 Republican states that's refusing and resisting against the Biden administration when it comes to these mandates. They're not occupying. And it says the threats were sent to Arizona, South Carolina, and Utah as the U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration prepares to adopt much more far-reaching blank and rules affecting 80 million Americans. Okay, so it's all going into pushing of these, the Vanessa. And it says OSHA, okay, which is the Acapulco, so like I just not said it, Aco, uh, Acapulco National Safety and Health Administration. The OSHA officer say Arizona, South Carolina, and Utah are not complying with their promises to enforce labor standards that are at least as good as those adopted by the federal government. And it says, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster tweeted out Wednesday morning, this is clearly a preemptive strike by the federal government with no state regulators in the way. The Federal Labor Department would be free to penalize employees who do not comply with President Biden's unconstitutional blank mandate. Okay, so he's saying that, well, that's not constitutional. And they don't give a damn about the constitutional. Okay, the whole constitution was set up basically for Edomites. It definitely wasn't set up for you Negro, Latino, Native Americans. It's set up against us. But now it comes to the point that the constitutionals don't work, man. Okay, now you Edomites starting to see that your freedom of liberty was all just being deceived. And it worked for the point of, you being over the so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, okay? Having rights through white supremacy over Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But now you're starting to see these elites don't give a damn even about their own kind, their American Edomite counterpart, okay? To the point now you got these American Edomites starting to resist and talk about their constitutional rights, okay, with which all of it was a plan to deceive you, even you Edomites at this time. Now you're starting to see that your rights don't matter. And it's all about the government enforcing their will, okay? And they basically saying, damn the Constitution. Okay, Esau going along, making things up as you go along, man. And now we coming to the point that they pushing their agenda of the NWO. And even the average American Edomite is about to be affected. They're going to get caught up, okay? They're going to get caught up into different judgment here in America, right along with 2/3 of our people, man. When these laws get more enforced, coming at the time of martial law, taking all the rights, okay, away from American citizens, forcing the mandates, the jabs, soon to be the MOTB, okay, because they got an agenda. They want to control all nations, even of their own, okay, the ones that's nobody's to them. Now Esau getting his wake up call to see that this government is not for them, but basically used on this government or these federal governments was used on these, the lesser Edomites that thought they had, authority, but it was only used to put a stronghold on our people, on us, the Israelites. But let me continue on. It's a short article, and it says Matt Master went on to say, Salaki, Matt Master went on to say, to protect South Carolinian employees, I have instructed a LLR director, Emily Farr, to begin immediately preparations for a vigorous and likely legal fight. Okay, and it says South Carolina governor vows to fight Biden to the gates of hell after blank mandate speech. And that's the end of the article. But that's showing you that here at home, okay, at South Carolina, man, okay, that you South Carolinians, how, the government, they think, because you got a lot of people against the mandates of these JABs, and they figure that the master is fighting for them, okay, because we got constitutional rights. Man, all this government got to do is take them out of the way, man. Set up somebody who they want, okay, that be in a position of being a puppet to enforce, okay, the way of Biden administration. Okay, and eventually, man, it's gonna all go down to the point that Matt Master can't do nothing about it, right along with the governors of these other different states. Okay, it's gonna come to the point that it's gonna be out of their hand, and they're gonna have to totally submit. And for our people that trusting in America or trusting in South Carolina, yeah, we got a governor that fighting against the mandates. Okay, that's gonna bring more division, because you got people amongst all states that's willing to take the JAB, okay? And those that resistance, they're the problem. They're the problem for the uncivil unrest, the economy's crashing, the food shortages, the supply chain, okay? While the economy is constantly going down, okay? So it's all point towards division. And that's the time that we're into. So I'm going to go ahead, get a couple of more scriptures and close the lesson out, and hope and pray that this lesson be edifying to the ones out there listening. Because this is the times that we're in. And that's why Yahweh Shem Shai has set up the prophets, mainly the men of great millstones, starting with our apostles and elders and the brethren on down that's in the ministry out there on the highways and byways and doing these videos constantly to give warning to you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, that the time of Jacob trouble is at hand, great division. Okay, we come into the time of civil unrest, uproars of the people, okay? And also giving warning to you Edomites and you rest of you heathens over here in America that your kingdom is through, okay? That we come into the time of great division and destruction, a time of martial law, okay? When it comes to the military taking over your local governor, government, okay? Coming to the time of concentration camps, FEMA camps, detention centers, more and more mandates being put on the people. And that's the whole purpose of Yahweh Shem Shai. Now I'm going to go to the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 51. And this is red letter, meaning that Yahweh Shai, who the world calls Jesus Christ, spoke these words, okay? Luke chapter 12, verse 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth. I tell you, nay, but rather divisions. And that's what time we're coming into, division. Okay, Yahweh Shem Shai is not in the time of bringing peace, but judgment. Okay, Yahweh Shai say nay, mean no. Okay, and what these people in the world, they think here in the coming of the Lord, his second coming, they thinking the Lord coming back to bring all nations together. He's coming back to bring love, okay, especially amongst the doctrine and the believers of Christianity, what they've been taught in these churches. But Yahweh Shai say, nay, I'm not coming to bring peace. Okay, he's coming back to bring division, separation. Okay, and going into this topic, the division is going into what? These nations, these kingdoms, okay? In particular, America. And that's what you're seeing behind these mandates and the pushing of the JAB. And it's going to get more intensified because we come into the time of the downfall of America and its destruction, which, by the way, this place America is going to be destroyed by the way of thermonuclear missiles. And that's the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. And that's what we're approaching. The time of World War III, the pushing of these JABs, which is nothing but a test run or a trial run for what they really want to implement, which is the Karatma, the MOTB. Okay, the RFID, the micro, because this place is coming into a cashless society, a global reset, a financial crash, and they're doing it all by design so they can push that new currency, which is going to be a digital currency once again, which is going to be that micro. Okay, and that's what time we're coming into. Now I'm gonna get the book of Matthews, chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. So eventually this place is headed for what? Desolation. It's destruction. Because this kingdom is divided. Okay? And in particular, the Edomites. Okay? The different governors that resisted against the Biden administration, those that's pushing forth the mandates right out of Washington, D.C. Okay? And not only the governors, but American citizens, in particular Edomites, okay, that's resistant, okay, to the point that you got servants or military servants that's willing to resign from their position, not to take the JAB, doctors, nurses, policemen, firefighters, okay, and down to the average American uh, citizens that's willing to take their job, not to take the JAB and lose their jobs, okay, due to they standing up for their right, okay. So that's why we come into the time of order out of chaos, pressure from above, pressure from below, where these elites are pushing forth that they're going to make the people submit to the NWO by bringing chaos, by bringing these mandates, these unrighteous decrees, as it is written in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1. Okay? They get the people to submit. That's why you're seeing the orchestrated uh, food shortages, the supply chain, okay, that's being corrupt, being destroyed. They coming at the people at all different angles, man, on all levels. Okay? All this is being done by design, okay, to get the people to submit. And those that's not willing, they're gonna be outcasted. Okay? Eventually they're gonna be, as I make mention, taken by Esau's sword, even of his own people, when it comes to martial law. That's why you're going to have a big resistance, man, between the American citizens against their government, clashing against their government. Okay? And all we have to do, the ones that's in the faith and know Yahweh Shema Shah's spirit, that hopeful elect, as we pray and we part up, okay, is just to sit back, prophesy, continue on in the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, and the elect is going to be covered. Okay? When all hell break loose. And we're looking for this place to go down, because we know after this, it's the kingdom being established. But also, 2/3 of our people that rejecting the word of Yahweh Shema Shai, they're going to get caught up into these plagues. They're going to get caught up into the time of martial law, famine, concentration camps, okay, race wars, clash wars, okay, the uproars. Because they make not Yahweh Shema Shai, they covering. Okay, so let me continue on. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Okay, it going to these governments. Okay, this whole government, how it's set up through different policies, man. Because every state got their own way of laws. Okay, but the head of them, okay, is the ones that's out of DC, the federal government, okay? And you're starting to see the division. So once again, it's not going to stand. And we coming to that point, to the downfall of America. And it says, in every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? It can't. Satan casting out Satan. Okay? And we know, okay, if you don't know, well, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan is the biblical Edomites, because they are the wicked that the Bible speak of, the so-called white race. Okay, so they're the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, doing the bidding of Satan on the left-hand side. But now Yahweh Shemel Shai is bringing that division amongst these Edomites. Okay, so that's them casting, Satan casting out Satan, and that's leading to their division, even amongst themselves here in their own kingdom, America. Once again, which proving that this place is over, man. This place is heading for its destruction. Okay, and that's one of the signs that Yahweh Shai told us to look for of his second coming. Division amongst the nations, amongst the kingdom. I'm going to get that. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And that's what we're seeing. Okay? Division. Okay? The nations, the people against the citizens. The citizens, which are the people. Okay? Against the government. Kingdoms against kingdoms. Okay? And not only here in America, you got a lot of resistance behind these mandates or the pushing of the JB. Different parts also of the earth, as Canada, parts over there, different countries, cities over there in the UK, over there in Europe, Australia. Okay, so there's division on all levels, man, all throughout the earth. But America's gonna feel it the most, because this is where Yahweh Shema Shah is gonna bring the most plagues due to all the wickedness that is placed in uphold and what it done push out throughout all the earth, man. Okay, and what they have done unto Yahweh Shema Shah and us against his people. Okay, that's why this place is gonna be destroyed. That's why this place is gonna get the heaviest judgment of the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shah. That's it on that. I'll read it again. For nation shall rise up against, so nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All of these are the beginning of sorrow. So we come into the time of the beginning of sorrow. Okay? We come into the time of famine, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. All this is the will and the wrath of Yahweh Shema Shai. Especially, it's starting to come to America. That's it on that. Now I'm gonna go to the book of Second Esdras, because once again, we're gonna get to the point that, man, these citizens of America are gonna take a stand, starting with Esau, Edom, and these heathens. Okay, and also 2/3 of our people that join hand in hand with this system. Okay, thinking that they got rights of being American citizens, to the point that they're gonna be fighting against the governors or the government. Okay, the higher ups. And that's when they're going to bring out their troops. Okay, more and more as we get closer to the downfall of this place, you're going to see a lot of resistance and a lot of uproars. Okay, a lot of sedition that's going to lead to a lot of chaos and bloodshed. This is 2 Esdras chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And that word woe means destruction, because that's what the Lord is bringing: destruction, judgment. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. Okay, and the sword is a killing instrument. Okay, and when Esdras seen this, he's going into what? Future. He's looking into the future, which is the present time now. Okay, prophecy. And we mentioned the sword. He actually didn't see people with the sword, a physical sword, but it's going into what? Symbolic for what? Guns. Because that's the modern day sword. That's the most killing instrument that the average American citizen use, okay, or people use in general here in these days time, here in this era, when it comes to war. Okay, the modern day sword, once again, is the gun. And that's what Edris seen, but he described it as a sword. Once again, the sword is a killer instrument. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So that's what you get your race wars, your clash wars, your civil wars. 'Cause over here in America, this is the only country was known as the citizens had the right to bear arms. Okay, I think that was the Second Amendment. Okay, the right to bear arms. And America is flooded with guns. And that's why it's more harder for this government to actually come with martial law, because they know the resistance is going to come with a lot of bloodshed. That's why they're trying to take away the people's rights to bear arms, the guns, okay, uh, um, limited ammunition in certain stores, okay, guns to shops, okay, but it's far too gone, man, okay, and these elites, they want it like that, okay, they want a resistance, they want bloodshed, because that give them more of a strong possibility to come with order. The less people they have to control when they are offing each other, okay, that's why they giving allowing guns, okay, here in America, people to murder each other, okay, on top of that, the famine they orchestrating with the food supply, the drugs, okay, the pharmaceutical drugs, okay, the jabs. They want to bring depopulation, because the less people they are, the easiest for them to control, okay, by the way of their swore, by the way of their enforcements, their legislations, as they give into these puppets to go out and put on their citizens, okay, especially mainly not talking about America, okay. Now let me continue on. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And that's what we're coming into, the time of civil unrest. Okay, these American citizens, okay, mainly like I say, Esau, Edom. Okay, they're taking a stand against their governors. Okay, that's the modern day kings and princes. They're taking a stand against this government. Okay, right now behind these JABs, but soon to be the Karatma, okay, and other executive orders they're gonna push, okay, these draconian laws, these severe laws that they're gonna enforce on the people to get them to submit or to resist. And a lot of these American citizens, they're gonna submit, okay, when they get to that point, weak point, but a lot of them are gonna take a stand. That's what we're reading here in 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 16. And you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna resist and follow suit, taking up guns to fight against, the government, and fight against martial law, or fight against the Edomites, fighting against these heathens, fighting against themselves, okay? Because they believe in this place and they don't have faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So expect, as it prophesied, of a lot of death and destruction in the near future as we're approaching. And it says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to take matters in their own hand, okay? And that's what you've seen, okay, in that article I just read, when McMaster resisted against the Biden administration, and he's a governor, okay? So how much more the citizens, okay, that resisting, okay? And you got people ready to stand up for their rights, and it's going to lead to a lot of backslash. It's going to lead to a lot of resistance, which equal a lot of bloodshed that's coming. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, at the time of martial law, civil unrest, chaos in the streets. Okay, everything locked down, curfews. That's the point that we're coming into, man. And it can be very, very soon. Okay, as they saying another lockdown is looming. And eventually it's gonna happen because it's prophecy. And this place is headed for its destruction once again. Okay? And it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread, and for great tribulation. And that's what time we're coming into, the lack of bread, famine. Okay, when everything is lawless. Okay, like I always like to say, a hardcore match. Okay, no rules, man. Everything goes, man. Survival of the fetish. Okay, we coming to that time, man. It's gonna be lawless. You already see the policemen starting to quit in certain counties or states of America. The crime rate is going up. So how much more when all hell totally break loose, man? Okay, and there's famine involved. Famine, martial law, checkpoints, lockdowns. When these people, American people, who freely go about in their daily life from different cities, counties, or states, okay? When there's going to be travel ban, okay? And you can't go to your local market, okay, to make merchandise, because there's no food or there's no, these products into the stores. They're going to be evading each other, their homes, trying to go to the next county and have to fight. So man, all hell breaking loose, man. We coming into that point. And that's it on that. And I'll get this last scripture and close out. So basically, man, this place is over with. We're coming to the point of a financial crash. We're coming to the point of a lot of people resisting behind the mandates, the JAB, soon to be the Karatma. A lot of civil unrest, uproars of the people. Okay, the morals of the people is at an all-time low. This place is heading for destruction, man. It is, and this well deserved through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Because America is full of abominations, it's full of wickedness, and this place must be destroyed, man. And it's prophesied that it is going to be destroyed. And we come into that time that the Lord manifesting his word on this place being destroyed. I'm going to finish off with Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon, okay, which is America, another way saying America, which the word Babylon in the Hebrew, Baal, means confusion. And that's what you have here in America, a bunch of confusion. And part of that confusion is what? Division. These people are divided. And it says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay, because through America, all these nations had taken away all the philosophy of America, the dollar, how America presented itself, all the wickedness that it don't push. These other countries or nations had taken hold to America philosophy, to his ways. Okay? And it says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. Okay? The nations have drunken of a wine, therefore the nations are mad. Because the earth and these nations and these different countries are just corrupt as America. Because America is that beacon of light. Okay? That all these other nations done follow suit and go after, pursued after. Okay? But now you're starting to see how Bashim Shah once again bring a division, raising up these nations that's about to be set for war, to go to war with America. And eventually this place America once again is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles by the hands of these other nations. Okay? And that's the will of Yahweh Shema was shot. Let me continue on. And it says, verse 8, Babylon is sudden fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. Okay, so this place is heading for destruction. It's falling suddenly. Okay, financially. The economy's about to crash. The people, like I make mention, the people are bugged out. They confused. They're ready to go to war with their own government amongst them. They're ready to go to war amongst themselves, these nations over here in America. Okay? So that's all showing toward this place is out of here. And it says what? Take balm for her pain, and so she be healed. Okay, and the balm represent what? A healing ointment. Okay? When you got a wound or a cut or a pain, you put that healing ointment what for healing. Okay? But it says, we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, meaning that she's not going to be healed. She's not going to bounce back. Ain't no making America great again. Okay, this place is coming to its downfall, heading to its downfall. Okay, this place can't be healed. Like I say, the financially, the economy, these people is to a point that there's no point of returning back to how America normally is. Okay, it's over with. This is the time of the Lord visiting this place and bringing plagues and judgment upon America, bringing this destruction. And it says, we will have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaching unto the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And so this is the time of Yahweh Shemashah about to bring the judgment of America, Babylon the Great. That's what it's going to. And it says, the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. And that's what Yahweh Shemashah had gave unto the prophets to go out there and prophesy the downfall of this place. Okay, and that Yahweh Shemashah about to do his mightiest work, his marvelous work of bringing destruction to America. Okay, and taking down you Edomites, you heathens. 2/3 of our people going to fall right along with them. Okay, and eventually Yahweh Shai coming back, bringing destruction, and going to deliver the elect. And Yahweh Shai is going to establish his kingdom here on the earth, and the elect being joint heirs. Okay, which default is the kingdom of Israel here on the earth, and all you other nations, you heathens, that's going to be reserved. You're going into captivity. Okay, so eventually, this is the time that we're coming into the downfall of America and the downfall of you Edomites. Okay, the destruction of America and Yahweh Shai returning to establish the kingdom of Israel here on the earth. So we come into the time of division and expect more, because that's prophecy. Okay, and it's Yahweh Shai time of bringing judgment. So I'm going to go ahead and close out, and I pray that the lesson been edifying to the ones out there listening. Until the next time, I'm going to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone that teach and rule well today, and salutation also to the fellow laborers in the ministry and the believers that scatter worldwide, and exalt the name of Yahweh, and exalt the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, in all truth and sincerity. Until the next time, Lord willing, Shalom.